Hey, what's up guys? I'm Theo Joe, and you may have heard the term net neutrality, but maybe you didn't fully understand what it was, or you've just been hearing the propaganda that's been on the news about it or whatever. But in this video, I'm gonna hopefully try to quickly explain in a simple way what net neutrality is and why it is so important to the future of the internet. And if Congress removes net neutrality or the FCC is forced to remove it, then it's gonna be the end of the internet as we know it potentially. And there's a lot of people saying, oh, that's just, that's sensationalism, but it's really not, because even if things don't change immediately, they could change over time for sure. So first of all, what is net neutrality? The simplest way I can put it is that it forces your internet service provider to treat all internet traffic the same, so that they can't prioritize from some websites over others. You can think of it very much like the electricity coming into your house or the water coming into your house from your utility companies. The utility company can't dictate how much they charge depending on what device you use the electricity on. You say, oh, well, we're only gonna charge you 10 cents a gallon if you are taking a shower, but if you're running the dishwasher, well, that's gonna be 20 cents. And the same goes for electricity. Oh, well, you know what? If you're running entertainment center, well, that's optional. So we're gonna charge you more for that as opposed to like a refrigerator, that sort of thing. The ISPs could potentially do the same thing without net neutrality, except it would be for websites. So they could do this in a few different ways, whether it's saying that a company itself has to pay to be able to have a fast lane, whereas maybe a new startup wouldn't be able to afford it, and then they would be slow, which would mean that anyone really starting up a new business would have a major disadvantage compared to anything that is already established, which would be obviously not very good in terms of innovation. And if they did get around this restriction, then of course things wouldn't change immediately. They're not going to be able to get away with that. People would complain to Congress immediately and they would be forced to change. But things would just slightly change over time. Maybe they do backdoor deals saying, hey, company, we'll give you a little bit more faster speed if you pay up. And guess what? This already happened with Netflix. A few years ago, they were restricting Netflix traffic, and they said they weren't, but then they made a deal with Netflix and got Netflix to pay a whole bunch of money. This was for Comcast. And wouldn't you know, magically, instantly Netflix traffic was not slowed down anymore. So it's obvious that they were restricting that traffic. They'll do it again, believe me. So it'll just start out like that. And then maybe they'll introduce little new features like, oh, if you like to stream video, you can pay an extra couple bucks a month and we will make sure that your video traffic gets priority, even though right now it should already have priority if you're watching it at the time. There's no reason that you shouldn't have the maximum speed on all of the content that you're trying to access. But if they don't have net neutrality to restrict that, they can say, oh, you know what, you have to pay up if you want the guarantee that these videos aren't gonna buffer. But it doesn't have to just be with speed. Imagine this, a company could say, you know what, we're gonna completely block access to any website unless you buy a package, kind of like they do with cable channels right now. You get the basic internet for like 10 bucks a month. You can get Google search, you can get your email, but if you want the social media package to get Facebook and Twitter, that's an extra 10 bucks a month, unless Facebook and Twitter pay the company a bunch of money to have all their customers have access to it. Or maybe they say, oh, do you want the creator package? Do you want to be able to upload videos to YouTube? Well, then you have to pay an extra 5 bucks a month. We'll let you access YouTube, but if you want to upload content to it, even if YouTube allows you to, Comcast can restrict the connection specifically from you uploaded onto YouTube. They could do that, and they could restrict that. Or even worse yet, think about this. They could potentially say that you're only allowed to have certain devices connect to their internet. They say, you know what, if you don't have a Comcast or Verizon approved device, then you're not allowed to connect it to our internet. You know, something ridiculous like that could be possible. They'll inch their way towards that. And maybe the company itself has to pay to be approved. Whereas obviously you can connect as much stuff as you want right now. There's no restriction because they can't restrict it. Or maybe they say, you know, you're only allowed to connect 10 devices. If you want to attach more stuff, you got to pay up. You got to pay by the device. You know, or maybe some devices are cheaper because they have a deal with the internet company. This is what I'm talking about. This is scary stuff that a lot of people don't think about. They're just saying, oh, net neutrality, it's just something about internet speeds, and the companies will try to put out this propaganda saying, oh, we just want to be able to have fast lanes and super speed lanes. We just want to be able to say that you can access data faster without saying that, yeah, while making everything else slower. So if you're gonna make some stuff faster, that by just the nature of it means you're gonna have slower stuff that you don't need to necessarily make slower. If you can make this fast, you can make everything fast as well. Now, right now, we have an internet that does really follow net neutrality principles, where a company isn't supposed to be able to charge more for some websites than others or slow down some websites that they don't like. And the reason for that is because in 2014, in the United States at least, the FCC classified internet companies as Title II common carriers. And a common carrier is, like it kind of sounds like, it basically means that they have to provide a service equally among all the customers. So you can think of it like a bus. They're a common carrier. They can't say, oh, well, we're gonna restrict passengers who look like this, even though that'd be a completely other law they'd be violating, but you get the idea. They say, oh, well, if you work for a competitor, then we're not gonna let you ride the bus, that sort of thing. And this Title II common carrier law already applies to a lot of other telecommunications companies like phone companies, but ISPs have kind of been off the hook on it until 2014. And now that they are on the hook, they are really not happy about it. They're saying we shouldn't be classified as this. And their main argument, funny enough, is that, you know, we already follow these rules. You know, we don't need this law to tell us that we have to do it. We're already doing it. Just trust us, is basically their argument, which is ridiculous. You would think if they're already doing everything they should, that they wouldn't care if a law just formalizes it. So obviously, if they're trying to remove that restriction, then there's a reason behind that. And they say it stifles innovation. And oh, capitalism will handle that because, oh, people will just go to other companies. The problem is, if you know anything about how ISPs work in America, a lot of times there is no other company you can go to. The companies have monopolies on different regions. They kind of territories. So if a company is screwing you over, you can't do anything about it. You can quit, you can leave the company as a customer, but then you have nowhere else to go. You'll just have to deal with having no internet at all. And if you don't believe me that most of these companies are just hypocrites, consider this. These companies are saying that net neutrality would cost them so much money, they wouldn't be able to innovate, they wouldn't be able to build new infrastructure. Meanwhile, they've spent somewhere on the order of $500 million already lobbying to remove net neutrality. So, they're saying that they would lose so much money from net neutrality, even though they're already spending an insane amount to remove it. Imagine if they had put $500 million into building their infrastructure. They wouldn't even have to worry about all the rules that they're doing. So obviously they have other plans, let's just say. Now, if this all concerns you, and the reason I kind of made a video about this right now is that yes, the companies have been battling this forever, especially since 2014 when they got reclassified as Title II common carriers, but recently the FCC might actually try to take away that classification, go back to the old days, and just trust that they're gonna do the right thing. The FCC did open public comments. The first round of comments is currently closed, and it allowed a bunch of people, anyone in the United States really, to submit their thoughts and say, no, we want this to be classified as Title II. And of course, the companies as well could submit their own comments. And while the comments are closed, there should be another round. I believe it's gonna be in August that you can submit comments again. And there have been protests of different kinds, like websites, popular websites have been putting up banners that say, oh, your internet would be slow if there's no net neutrality, to build awareness. But you really want to comment if you want to make a difference. Even if there's millions of comments, one comment is going to make a difference because they say, all right, all these people actually care. These are voters. So when the next round does come around, be sure to leave a comment and tell the FCC, hey, we want net neutrality. We don't want you to remove it. This is not good. If democracy works and enough people care about it, then I have faith that they will actually do what the people think. I mean, even the previous FCC chairman, Tom Wheeler, originally, he was gonna kind of do the same thing. He was on the side of the cable companies, but so many people and so many websites spoke out that he actually ended up going on the side of the people and did classify it as Title II. We thought, oh my gosh, this guy's gonna be terrible, but he ended up actually being on our side. So hopefully the same thing will happen with the FCC this time around. In any case, hopefully by now you got the idea and you know how important net neutrality is, besides just internet speed being a little bit slower. It's really crucial to the internet being how it is forever. It could change everything. So if you guys have any ideas, let us know down in the comments in YouTube and on the FCC website. It's really important that you do that as well. If you enjoyed this video, you want to keep watching, I'll put some others right here. You can just click on those. And if you want to subscribe, I make new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, a variety of tech videos, sometimes tutorials, top lists about useful programs, that sort of thing. And if you want, you can also follow me on social media like Twitter and Instagram. I'm on those as well, try to post cool stuff. So anyway, again, I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.